Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you are doing something wrong, but you just couldn't figure out what it was? Like in Germany, when you walk into a bakery and order right away, and the cashier gives you that cold look, or when you stand casually on the escalator and suddenly you are blocking everyone. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. When you move to a country like Germany, you're not just changing your address, you are stepping into a whole new culture. And that's a challenge because every culture has a set of unwritten rules. Rules about what's polite, what's rude, and what's socially acceptable. The kind no one tells you about, but everyone follows. And if you miss them, you can easily end up in some pretty awkward situations. So in this video, I want to save you from that embarrassment. Let's get started. If you're new here, my name is Srijit. I've been working in Germany for over 12 years. And on this channel, I want to provide you with all the information you need to start your life in Germany. When you arrive in Germany, one of the first things you will notice is how much people value personal space. Whether you are standing in the bakery, talking to a coworker, or waiting for the train, you are expected to keep a bit of distance. But keeping distance doesn't mean ignoring people. In fact, it's just the opposite. In Germany, you are expected to greet people. When you walk into a shop, a doctor's office, or even step into an elevator, if there are others, then you say hello. And when you leave, you say tschüss or auf Wiedersehen. At first, I was like, do I really have to greet strangers every single time? But the answer is yes. That's just how it works here. And if you are at a party or a social gathering, things go a step further. You don't just nod and smile. You walk up, shake hands, and introduce yourself. Nothing fancy, just a simple hello, ich bin, and your name. That's it. But you have to be careful about how you address people. Always start with the formal version. That is Herr or Frau plus the last name. Now, if you are with younger people, friends, classmates, or colleagues of your age, you can usually go straight to du or the informal you. With older neighbors, police officers, or the lady at the Bürgeramt, always start with the formal C. You also have to be careful about the topics you bring up in the conversation. Think twice before asking someone you just met, how much do you make? Or, so when are you getting married? In Germany, those kind of questions are considered private. And the same goes for talking openly about salary or money. So, what do you do instead? Keep it light. Talk about the weather, your weekend plans, or your hobbies. Let people share personal details when they feel comfortable. This is the most important one. In Germany, time is taken very seriously. Here, if you got a meeting, a class, even just a casual hangout, you are expected to be on time. And by on time, it's usually to the minute, not 1 or 2 later. Even being just 5 minutes late can come across as disrespectful. So, how do you handle it? Simple. Plan ahead. If you are using public transport, check the schedules and account for delays. If you are driving, then give yourself enough buffer time for traffic. And if you really can't make it, then always call and let the other person know. At the end of the day, everyone's time is valuable. So make sure you give it the importance it deserves. Now, this is something that really took me a while to adjust in Germany. Silence. Germans are quiet, really quiet, on public transport, in waiting rooms, even in restaurants, people keep their voices low. If you are on the train and talk loudly on the phone, trust me, you'll be asked to keep it down. The same goes for playing music. Always use headphones and keep the volume down. Nobody else needs to hear your playlist, no matter how amazing you think it is. Even entire neighborhoods are quiet. Germany has official quiet hours, also called the Ruhezeit, and during those times, you are expected to keep the noise down, dragging furniture, playing loud music, even running the vacuum or washing machine late at night. It's all seen as inconsiderate. And trust me, if you break that rule, your neighbors won't just let it slide. They might call the police. One of the interesting things I notice in Germany is that eating together feels a little more formal. There are certain etiquettes that you are expected to follow. For example, when your food arrives, don't immediately start eating. You wait until everyone has a plate and then someone says Guten Appetit, which simply means enjoy your meal. That's your green light. Similarly, most meals in Germany are eaten with a fork and a knife. If you are used to eating with your hands, try to avoid it unless it's something that's clearly finger food. like bread or pretzels. And of course, the basic table manners matter. Chew with your mouth closed, keep your voice at a normal level, and always keep your hands visible on the table. Finish what's there on your plate. Wasting food is seen as disrespectful, so only take what you know you can actually eat. When it comes to paying the bill at a restaurant, the waiter will usually ask, Susaman or a get trend, which simply means, do you want to pay it together or separately? And most people here say separately, and everyone just pays for exactly what they ordered, along with a small tip. And then there is a drinking culture. Beer and wine are a big part of life here, but there is a little ritual to it. Just like with the food, you don't take the first sip as soon as your glass is in your hand. You wait. Someone will raise their glasses, say prost, and everyone joins in with their prost back. Then you clink glasses with the people around you, and this is important. Make eye contact and then take your first sip. Just German things. This is another big one. The first rule of public transport is simple. Whether in a bus or train, before you board, always let people get off first. And when you wait to board, make sure you are standing to the side of the doors and not blocking the way. On escalators, always stand on the right and keep the left side free for people who are in a hurry. And once you're inside a train or a bus, seating has its own code too. Priority seats are for the elderly, disabled, pregnant women or parents with kids. Even if you are in a regular seat, it's expected that you will offer it to someone who clearly needs it more. And once you are seated, don't ever put your feet on the seats, even if it is empty. And when it comes to eating or drinking, keep it light and clean. A coffee or water is fine, but avoid messy or smelly food on public transport. And like I mentioned earlier, keep it quiet. Phone calls, music, conversations, keep them low. Public spaces are public. They belong to everyone. So always be mindful of the people that you are sharing them with. In Germany, rules are rules, and people actually follow them, even if they seem small or unnecessary. For example, you don't just cross the street when the pedestrian light is red, even if the road is totally empty. People wait until it turns green. And it's not only about the safety, it's also about setting the right example, especially for kids. And cutting in line is not okay. If you stand too close or try to sneak ahead, someone will definitely call you out. Now, the tricky part is that sometimes these lines are imaginary. For example, at a bakery, people don't really form a single queue. Everyone just knows who came first, and the cashier usually looks around to see who is next. If you are in doubt, just ask politely. Now, this one is really important. Every country has certain topics that you don't just treat lightly. And in Germany, that's World War II and anything related to Nazism. For many people, it's still personal. So avoid any funny references or casual comments on these topics. But that doesn't mean the topic never comes up in conversations. Germans aren't defined by that part of the history, but they also don't ignore it. Schools teach it in depth, and there are memorials everywhere. So if the topic does come up, approach it with respect. Listen more than you speak. Don't make assumptions and don't fall back on stereotypes. If you are genuinely interested and want to ask questions, that's okay, but only if it comes from a real place of wanting to understand and not to judge. If there is one thing I really admire about Germany, it's how much people value individuality. You see it everywhere. The way people dress, the careers they choose, the hobbies they dive into. Nobody really cares if you're conventional or living like you are already in the future. The mindset is pretty much like this. You do your thing and I will do mine. And along with that comes a strong sense of tolerance and respect. For example, in many lakes and parks, you can see people sunbathing naked. Even at gyms, in the changing rooms or showers, people walk around without clothes. And here is the thing. Nobody stares. Nobody makes it weird. It's just normal. The rule is simple. Don't judge. Be open, be respectful, and accept people for who they are. One of the biggest mistakes people make when moving abroad is assuming that what's normal back home is normal everywhere, but it's not. So, if you're ever unsure what to do in a particular situation, don't guess. Look around. See what others are doing. And if you're still not sure, just ask politely. People appreciate it when you're genuinely curious about the culture. And if you ask with respect, most will be more than happy to help. And here is the thing. Once you follow these unspoken rules, you blend in better. People treat you more warmly and you start to feel like you belong. I hope you got some value from this video and will help you to build a successful life in Germany. And if you want to see more related videos on the topic, then do subscribe to the channel. Until I see you with another video, have a wonderful rest of the day and auf Wiedersehen.